What's up, YouTube, and welcome to my channel, reacting to Aeternum. This is my very first episode. I wasn't actually going to even do it because I keep delaying it because I'm nervous about doing it. Probably not going to get any views, but whatever. I had to download an update for New World because I guess something's coming up. I don't know what it is, so I can't play anyway. So I figured, you know what? Let's stop kicking the can down the road and let's get to it. So this is the newest dev update. November 2023, and I haven't watched it yet because I've been planning on doing this channel for a while. So I wanted to kind of get a first reaction and record it and post it on YouTube. So here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Season 4 Dev Update. We're still in Irvine. Got a big group of people with me today. Got Gwen, who you met a couple Dev Updates ago, who's a producer on New World. Dave V, who everyone knows, the Associate Game Director. Got Rosie, the Wex Art Lead, World Art Lead. Chad, who's the AI Lead. Patrick, who leads the Seasons and Progression teams. Vince, who's the UX Lead. And Dan down there, who is the Social and Mounts Lead. Lots of leads here today.
Yes, lots of leads. I recognize most of them. I have watched most of the dev updates. To be completely transparent, I quit playing the game for about 2 months prior to the expansion being released. Once the expansion came out, maybe a week later, I bought it, and I've been having a lot of fun since. So here we go.
So before we get too deep into the Season 4 update, I want to talk a little about the roadmap. So at the beginning of the year, we released a roadmap that talked about everything we were going to do this year, and we've been pretty diligent about it. But all
right, I'm just thinking about this because I'm super salty about it. You gonna do anything for bows? Because there's no bow artifact.
The effort of full transparency, we've ended up moving some things out of Season 4, and I want to talk through those and just own some of the things we missed on and talk about why. So the first one is the season trial with mutators. We decided to move this to Season 5 so we could do a little more focus on the expedition coming out this season. So we are still shipping a 10-person mutator, but it's going to be next release, and it probably won't have mutators. We're leaning heavily against that.
I didn't know that's going to happen. So again, I quit right before the expansion for about 2 months, and I think that's when the Season 2 happened. And when the season trial came out, if I'm remembering correctly, was that the hatchery? And then there's also the sandworm raid, which I didn't do. So based on what he said, it sounds like they were going to potentially have mutated versions of it, which would be cool, but I guess they're delaying that. So there you go.
Another one that's not happening is the seasonal trinket. So with this one, when we, artifacts weren't on the original roadmap and plan, and once we released artifacts, it seemed to fill the void of the trinket. And we thought before we start putting more things in the mix, let's watch what happens with this, get player feedback, and figure out if trinkets is still the right thing to do or we want to go a different direction.
That's fair. I don't even remember talk about trinkets. Maybe that's when I was completely not playing New World at all again. Season 2, completely missed Season 2. So maybe that's when it got brought up. But yeah, I'm not sure what they were going to do with those. And the artifact system, I like, though. I do like it. I hate the fact that I can't get any of them because the drop rate apparently is terrible. I'm not sure what's going on in terms of the expeditions. I've ran multiple of them. I know there's some people that get it in one run, and you're just like, I hate you very much. And then there's people that have to run it 5,000 times, at least.
This next one is the MSQ update. So we were planning to finish the MSQ this release in December. However, we're not really happy with the way that the MSQ update went in the last release, and we wanted to put a little extra time just to make sure we give you a quality experience. So that's going to move into the next one. We had already talked about really not being into heart runes. I think we did enough of those, and I think that any more would get a little bit convoluted.
Yeah, they said that before, but then they released another one with this expansion, right? So I'm not exactly sure what that's all about, but that's fine. Also, in terms of the MSQ, I'm really glad that they did that because MSQ sucked when I did it, when, basically I played from the beginning of the game coming out, maybe 1 or 2 months after it released, when majority of the player base quit because of all the bugs. I never really redid it. I did a little bit with my kids. of the new MSQ, and what they did change and do, I did like.
Uh,
So it's good that they're gonna, they're not happy with it and they're putting more work into it. I do appreciate that. If I do ever play it again, uh, like what I told myself was, I'm gonna wait till they're completely done with the MSQ because I would like to see it from like start to finish for sure.
Next one, we're going to go into this really deep later, but at a top level, cross-world expeditions and arenas is moving. Now, the reason it's moving is we wanted to surprise everyone with an improved group finder. And we did, it's underway, but it's going to take a little longer than we wanted, so it's not going to make season 4. However, we will deep dive on that in a little bit. And then finally, the seasonal territory control. Again, we talked about doing this, but the influence races have done such a good job of engaging the players. We want to get more feedback, and we'd rather respond to feedback and improve that than try to throw another system into the mix.
Influence races are kind of cool. I don't PvP, and even I got involved with it. It was fun. I complained the whole time because I died all the time. That's why I don't PvP. I'm terrible at it, but it was fun nonetheless.
So there's good reasons for it, and this is just, when you release a roadmap, 12 months out, you don't always know how things are going to evolve over time and what's going to happen in the live environment. So things change, and we just wanted to, be open and honest and get in front of the changes.
That's fair. It would be really hard to dedicate to 12 months of content. Be like, yeah, this is for sure what we're going to do, because things do change. Also, I appreciate in general that they even do this. I can't think of a game that I played where they did this. Now, I don't know if this was like a ploy because they screwed up majorly with the release. Like, hey, how can we try to get the player base back? How can we get their trust back? They screwed up. Hands down, no excuses. They screwed up. But it's a great game. They fixed a lot of it. I enjoy the hell out of it still. I really do hope the people that quit do come back eventually. I know they had like a nice influx of people that came back for the expansion, myself included. So let's just hope. I really like this game. I really hope it stays alive. It's a fun game. It's a great game. I think it's beautiful how it's the environment and everything, and all the detail that goes into things like gathering. My friends make fun of me on the game all the time because I don't know why I love gathering, but that has a lot to do with it, how detailed everything is. Anyway.
So with that, I'd like to shift the focus to season 4 and talk about Eternal Frost, because there's some pretty cool stuff coming this month. And the very first thing is it comes with a new storyline.
Nice.
And someone's going to tell you about that who's sitting behind me.
Yeah, so season 4 storyline. The Silver Crows are back, so very excited to have Grace O'Malley, Xander, and the crew.
The Silver Crows are cool. The only thing that wasn't cool is when the expansion came out, I had to rediscover all the travel points for them, I think. I didn't do it. I was just like, how come I have to redo this? I know they released some new ones, so like it made sense during when while you're riding on your mount or doing your mount quest to get your mount and then riding on the mount all over the place. That made sense. I got all those. Why did I have to redo the Silver Crow thing? I don't know.
Back to take you on a new adventure. With this storyline, we have a old client, Sky the Spear Daughter. She returns and warns that the Varangians are back up to no good. They never seem to be up to any good, so we're fighting them again. With her coming and bringing that news, you need to seek out new allies. So that brings in Daichi Saito, the new member of the Silver Crows, who you'll have to fight him to gain his respect in order for him to join the Crows. So it's one of several soul trials that come with this season narrative, which is super exciting. We're really expanding our quantity of soul trials we're doing with the season narrative. So, Chad, you want to talk about that a little bit?
So that's pretty cool. Also, I think that's kind of like a question that, what do you expect that guy to say to it? Like, what if he was just like, no? Like, what would they do, Anyway, I do like the trials. Those are really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you were saying, I think we've got a total of, 4 solo trial boss fights. So we've got the Daichi encounter, another fight with the Ice Dragon, as well as kind of an ultimate Ice Guardian. That one in particular I really like. Has some great mechanics that we haven't really seen yet. Interacting with some throwable objects to kind of break this interaction that the boss is doing with some rooms in the environment. I think that one's really fun. And then an ultimate fight with Mordred, which is really cool. He's got some really interesting, not seen before, new abilities.
And I think the quest experience is once again up-leveled. Like it's just, there's so many fun quests. There's one where you actually play on a chessboard, like there's a mission in that. Like we've just found new interactions in the quest that keeps it sort of interesting and really keeps the narrative alive.
That sounds cool, but I can't help but think immediately how they're copying off of WoW because there was a chessboard thing in Karazhan, I believe it was called. I can't remember. I haven't played WoW in forever, but I did play WoW, played a lot of it, and I played it a long time ago. Hopefully they weren't copying. If they were, who cares? Whatever. My display on this whole video thing is copying off of another reactor, so it is what it is. Like, what do they say? Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So there you go. WoW.
Yeah, personally, I like that. We've done a lot for the group, the PvE group
Chessboards
players.
are cool.
We've done a lot for the PvP players recently, and now we're doing more for the solo players. And I want to make sure the message.
Thank you, because I do like soloing stuff. I just sit there and gather all day. That's not exactly probably what they're going for, but I do like the solo trials. Those are fun.
Messages where we care about all of the groups of players, and I think at a high level, I love the solo trials. They're pretty cool. We also have a new expedition coming out, the Glacial Tarn for level 65 players. What makes that cool?
Well, the Glacial Tarn, in contrast to the Empyrean Forge, is going to be all icy and cold. So we have some real extremes in temperature. And it's really interesting second half to the Empyrean Forge. So we see those two sort
Nice.
of the two sides of the hot and the cold.
Yeah, and just to talk a little bit about what players are going to be encountering in there, we've got some really neat environmental interactions. There's icy stalactites or icicles dropping from the ceiling on the player. Some really interesting kind of empowering mechanics where players have to defeat it, gathering flame. Some new enemies with icy ancient guardians.
That thing looks cool as hell.
Ice Pharyngians, and some new bosses. Gwen, you want to tell us about those?
Yeah, the new Ice Torso boss, does he have a player-facing name?
Sir Loth.
Sir Loth, that's right. Yeah, so we've got the Ice Commander, Sir Loth, in Glacial Tarn, and I think the most exciting thing about that fight is just how much there is going on, and there's going to be a few different ways that you can play it. There's other AI that are going to be
So far, pretty cool looking. It looks a lot like Lazarus, though.
buffing
terms of how-
the boss in the center.
Not necessarily the arena, I guess, because it looks like they have like a whole diamond that we're gonna possibly have to like work around. But the boss itself kind of looks like the last boss in Last. Can't remember his name.
There are weak points that you can target if we're focused on ranged play. And there's also a lot of movement around the arena. So harkening back to Empyrean Forge, you have to really pay attention to what's around you and make sure you're not getting caught in the floor turning into lava. And this time you actually have a lot more control over the arena itself because the boss can break the bridges, but you can also build them back up. So making sure
Nice. I like that. So I have this company that I'm a part of, and I always talk shit. They don't appreciate it. I think they finally understand my sense of humor, but I was like, hey guys, just mechanics. It's just mechanics. Like when we were doing the Empyrean Force, like the first couple times, everyone was dying. I was like the last one to die because I'm like, rolling around. But I'm also light, like a light wearer, so it's much easier for me to dodge, I guess. And I'll be like, all right, it's just mechanics. Well, one day I played drunk, decided to play out on hard mode, and I died immediately after saying that, and they did not let me live it down. It was pretty cool, though. It was funny. It was good. I liked it. I can dish it out. I could take it, too. It's fine.
not caught on a platform where you need to be. I still haven't beat it in playtest yet, so I'm going to need to work on it a little bit harder.
Maybe you should stop playing with Dave V and get other people to.
Yeah, maybe more with like
Sorry.
Pride and Darren. They were a little bit better. But then I play healer, so maybe I should be keeping Dave alive better.
Ouch.
I like that.
The best healer in the world couldn't do that.
Like a backhanded compliment, It's like, all right, I might have pushed it a little bit there. Let me self-deprecate a little bit so he doesn't fire me.
Sorry. We got a couple new artifacts. You want to talk about those?
Yeah, so new artifacts. So for those of you who are done with your chase from the expansion artifacts, we're introducing 8 new ones. Pretty diverse.
I'm not done with my chase because, like I said, sometimes you have to run a dungeon 5,000 times. Excuse me, an expedition. Or, there's the people that you hate that got it on the first try. First try.
First cast of weapons and armor. So those weapons that did not get artifacts with the expansion, the life staff, the bow, things like that. They're finally going to get their time in the sun, and they should be pretty fun for players to chase. So 2 of my favorites, Vengeance, the life staff. Pretty unique weapon here. It takes more of an offensive approach for the life staff and increases the damage you deal based on how many times you're healing people. So I'm sure there's some pretty fun interactions there for players.
If I read that correctly, it's 1% of damage for 10 seconds, 20 stacks. You could do 20% more damage. That's pretty poggers. I want to know about the bow, though. Finally, a bow artifact.
Players to find. There's also Gladiator, the round shield. What this does is it acts as a sort of thorns.
Does anyone use a round shield? I'm being completely honest. I get a round shield. I'm trying to build a tank set right now. Automatic deletion. I don't know. I'm just asking. Let me know in the comments. I don't know if they're any good.
It's where when you take melee damage,
every tank I see has a tower.
You then inflict a bleed on the player. So some interesting interactions there. Dave, any other favorites from you?
Yeah, I got 2 favorites also. One, I know all the bow players felt left out. Your bow is coming, Bolt Caster. It's really cool. It does, as you can guess, lightning damage. But the other nice thing is it does is if you hit someone with full health, you get a stun. So that's going to be very interesting to see.
That is poggers. Now, I'm surprised they're going that route. They'll probably nerf it. But, and I say that because like they took away a lot of things that did damage, but also like had a CC effect in some way, right? Like I still use rapid shot. They took away the pushback from the third shot. So interesting that your opening shot's going to do a stun.
The
but I'll take it.
Plus a stun. Another one I love is quick draw gloves. What I like about this is it really changes the gameplay, right? It's not just numbers. Every time you swap weapons with these gloves on, you get a little bit of immunity. So it's neat to sort of like plan out your weapon swaps and sort of have a different vector on gameplay. So
that'll be interesting for PvP. I'm sure people are going to be on that.
I'm really excited about the DPS life staff. I haven't even come close to finishing my artifacts so far, so those are just going to go on hold for a little bit so I can do my life staff.
Yeah, I think like I mentioned this in the earlier part, but I think
yeah, that's one that wasn't. I think that's one that wasn't available right off the bat either. I remember I think like some healers complaining about that. I never healed at all ever, so I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure that is one of them. So that's cool that they're finally adding those.
It just changes the game, and it gives. They're so fun as chase items at the end, like really awesome. We're also bringing back some of our favorite seasonal events. We have the Winter Convergence Festival and the Legacy.
Please tell me you added something to it.
Of Crassus, and I don't know about you, Patrick, but I am looking forward to seeing those Gleamites come sailing in.
Like, is it just going to be rinse and repeat, or do they add something unique every time? I can't remember. I did both of them. I can't remember from the first time or the second time if there was really a difference.
I'm excited too, and that's a great segue because one of the bigger changes with the Convergence this year is we're really increasing the frequency of those Gleamite meteors. They're such a cool thing in Aeternum, and you only get to see it for a month out of the year.
That is cool. I do remember seeing them while streaming. And it's like, it's cool, but I just don't remember them being that important to the event. Like their worth. I can't remember, to be honest. It's been such a long time, but it is definitely cool to see when you see that thing spawn in the sky and you're like, oh shit. You just like try to run to wherever it's going to land. And now that everyone's got mounts, it'll be even funner, I think.
So we really wanted to make sure that players are seeing a lot.
Is that a word? Funner or more fun? I don't know. I'm really tired. Plus, I'm stupid.
A lot of those at night, and it's really lighting up the sky. Outside of that, the standard rewards suite. So new armors to chase, new emotes, and one of the I think coolest things about the.
I'll probably go for the emotes. Usually, the other stuff is kind of like caca. You just need the 700 gear score. I don't have that. I'm assuming the faction guy is not going to give you any of that. So I need to chase the 700 gear score and stop gathering like my friend keeps yelling at me about. And probably just chase the emotes in this.
The Convergence this
maybe
year,
some furniture.
we're changing the way crafting works with these holiday events. So what we're doing is introducing a new resource, the Pristine Gleamite Chunk from the shop. You can buy this, and that'll let you craft a guaranteed 700 item with some fixed perks, and should be a really awesome way for players to.
Hold on. I was talking the entire time that guy was talking. #rude. Hold on. Are we going to be able to buy an event? Will that only tell me that has to affect the item? This is awesome. If that's what I think it is.
And it's really lighting up the sky. Outside of that, the standard rewards suite, so new armors to chase, new emotes. And one of the, I think, coolest things about the convergence this year is we're changing the way crafting works with these holiday events. So what we're doing is introducing a new resource, the Pristine Gleamite chunk from the shop. You can buy this, and that'll let you craft a guaranteed 700 item with some fixed perks, and should be a really awesome way for players to hop into events like Winter Convergence and get some great gear out of it.
Okay. It's a change. I think it's a good change. Fixed perks kind of poop, but I understand because everyone would probably max out right away. Then they complain that there's no content. Instead of like what you currently have to do. It's quite the grind, which I don't mind. I think that was obviously intentional, but not only because they want things to be harder, I guess, to get, like the high-end items that you can guarantee like what you want. Another change I like. But they probably didn't want all the people that play all day, every day, to be done with all the content in about a week and then sit there and complain that there's no content.
Outside of that, Legacy of Crassus you touched on. So there's going to be a new pickaxe. Might be best in slot, might not. But what it does have is a unique skin, so players can go chase that. There's also 2 new statues that come from the event from each of the corrupted Cyclopses. Those will be fun to decorate your house with.
Okay. I'll probably get the furniture too. Pickaxe, definitely up my alley. Out of all the gathering, mining, big time. I'm like 100 plus, 120 plus aptitude, I think. I don't know. It's ridiculous. I know there's people that have higher. Let me know how high your aptitude is and what your highest aptitude is and what trade skill. I love mining. I really do. But I actually was about to make a mining pick. And now that I'm seeing this, I might have to wait. I don't know. I think he said it has, you're not guaranteed, right? Like I think let me see.
It does have is a unique skin, so players can go chase that. Might be a really awesome way for players to hop into events like Winter Convergence and get some great gear out of it. Outside of that, Legacy of Crassus you touched on. So there's going to be a new pickaxe. Might be best in slot, might not. But what it does have is a unique skin, so players can go chase that.
So I'll still go for it for the skin, but that's pretty cool. I might have to wait. I might have to make a logging axe then.
There's also 2 new statues that come from the event from each of the corrupted Cyclopses. Those will be fun to decorate your house with.
Okay. Next, Vince, you want to tell us about some of the inventory changes, quality of life improvements?
Sure. Yeah, we've been gathering feedback for a while now on inventory and some changes, and I'm glad to announce that really big changes are coming in. So one of them is that basically right now the view of your inventory items is all 2 columns. So you have like 2 columns and it gets really long if you have a lot of rewards or a lot of things in a specific category. You can now change that to 1 column, so it can go wider. You can also reorganize and either change the order of all of your categories as well.
Yes, that's amazing. The inventory does suck. And if we can customize it,
well as turn on or turn off some categories too. So if you really don't like gems, you can hide them all, and then you can change all of this sort of at will.
That's amazing because I can't tell you I hope this applies to storage chests too. How long you're scrolling down, like based on how much crap you have, and there's like so many things just in the craft mod section alone that are completely useless. You just get them as you're playing the game. I deposit all the craft mods. I don't really get rid of anything, which is to my detriment sometimes because then I'm out of storage space. But I digress. That's awesome.
If you like the 2-column layout, you can also move things from 1 column to the other. If you like all the crafting stuff on the right and all your gear on the left or the other way, you can make all those changes as well. And another cool feature that people have been asking about.
That's amazing quality of life. Thank you. Thank you, devs.
That we're really excited too is within each category you can do batch crafting based on rarity. So you just check the box of the rarity of stuff you want to or salvage. You want to salvage, and then you basically just salvage all. So if you're like Scott Lane, you want to salvage all your commons and legendaries, you can go do that.
Amazing.
If you're like Dave V and you're anti-blue and you just want to nuke all of that rarity, you can go for it.
Gone.
So
yeah, rares, greens, blues, automatic garbage. Maybe not the purple. Maybe not the epics. Sometimes I take a look at them. For the most part, I trash them anyway.
We think we're really excited about this one. And
That's awesome.
We've addressed a lot of the feedback, but please keep it coming, and we'll continue to keep making improvements to inventory.
It's good timing. Weren't you just talking?
I have some feedback. Not that they're probably ever going to see this video, but um, the trade post. Can you please make looking through your list of all the crap you've got? Give us more options. I kind of feel dumb now. I said this out loud before I was really thinking it through, but just being able to sort by name and quantity is really annoying. If you can kind of, I guess, sort it how you do the inventory page on your character to where you can look at certain things. You could just maybe have a bunch of checkboxes we can click like, hey, I want to look at this, look at that, whatever. Like, look at all my gems, look at all this. That would be so much better.
About salvaging legendaries and how the UI creates a little bit of excess
When you're trying to sell crap.
clicking.
Yeah, that Control C gets a little frustrating. So I'm very, very happy for this change, and thank you, Vince. I think it's a huge quality of life improvement. And
I
it's
agree.
something that we're going to continue to pay attention to, not just inventory, but quality of life. So earlier on, I mentioned that we were moving cross-world expeditions and arenas out because we wanted to focus on improved group finder. Dan, why don't you tell us exactly what that's going to encompass?
Yeah, the wait, it's almost over. We've almost got it. We are going to do cross-world expeditions with a
Amazing.
one-click group finder. So you can go as a solo, you can click the button. As a pre-made group, you can click the button. You will find a group to play expeditions with cross-world. We are doing...
Will bow players get accepted to the group, though? That's the important question for me. Probably no one else cares because no one else plays the bow. But for me, that's what I want to know. All the bow haters out there.
we're supporting all the vanilla
The bow's good.
expeditions. We're also going to support mutated expeditions as well.
Nice. And this has roll queue, Dan, so you can be assured you always have a tank and healer in your groups?
You go into the system, you pick a role. It's going to balance things out. You're going to have a bonus for those in-demand roles. And yeah.
What I do wonder, though, is it still going to be like an option? Because there are some groups I've seen, you go like healer and then the rest DPS, don't even bring a tank, or whatever, all DPS. That's interesting.
Any other bonuses, like just to give you incentives to do it every day or something like that?
Funny you should ask. Yes, indeed.
I think that was a softball question.
Yes, indeed. There is a 3x daily bonus for clicking the big random button that will send you to, wherever you're needed the most to fill a group right now.
And isn't there even more, Dan? What if,
There sure
I
is.
think
There's no end to this stuff, Dave.
with pugs versus pre-made groups, sometimes you don't have that coordination, so it's a little more difficult with pickup groups. Are there any sort of compensation or incentives to help that group along?
Yes, absolutely. This is not an original thing by any means, but we're adding a 15% buff when you end up in a random group to damage and healing.
Dude, I already bring the deeps. Not that anyone would know because they never invite me to the group because I have a bow. But I already bring the deeps. Can you imagine 15% more deeps for the players that actually know what they're doing? They're helping carry the pugs. Woo, baby.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I think, one of the controversial topics was like, should we do these one-click group finders for mutations? Because mutations are a little bit more, makes sense obviously for story mode and the
Bow spear, baby. All day.
easier, but like for M3s. We're going to try doing it. I think it's the right way to do it. But I think we talked about not having them impact the leaderboard,
Yeah,
right? Like
no leaderboard placement for
so that can
for
stay
those.
pristine. Yeah, I think it's going to be super fun. Like just the ability to press one button, never have to link gear again, never have to beg for groups or anything, and you'll just be in a group instantly. It's just
For me, it's as much about the wait, not having to try to wait for a group to form. Like when you're combining that with cross world, it's gonna feel much more on demand, and that's exciting. And healers, you're gonna get paid extra.
I appreciate that buff too, because as a healer, having like good group synergy with the people that I always play with is really beneficial, but now I don't have to worry.
So thanks again, everybody. And just as a recap today, we talked.
Again, I've never healed in this game, so I don't know, but I could only imagine how infuriating that would have to be, like when people let's say the tank is body pulling, right? Doesn't have any threat on anything yet, and people are just like, I gotta do deeps, and they're just going crazy, and the tank's going nuts, and the healer's like, oh my god, now has to prioritize like who they're gonna heal and stuff. It's gotta be infuriating. So that'll be a nice buff. Hopefully, people stop doing that though eventually. That would also be nice.
About some roadmap changes. We went into deep dive on all of the season 4 features, including a new.
Dude, does he have a New World logo tattoo? That's dedication.
Storyline, the new
like if that's real, that's dedication.
Expedition, artifacts, our upcoming seasonal events.
That's also a roll of the dice. I especially hope this game continues to be successful and work its way back up and earn people's trust because of that.
Some quality of life updates we've done, as well as giving you a little insight into where we're going with the improved group finder. So thank you again, everybody, for doing that. We'd also like to, elicit questions for the Q&A. And we've seen the feedback that people feel like we're not answering all of their awesome questions or giving enough detail. So one thing we're going to do is be a little more prescriptive on the kind of questions we are, comfortable answering. And hopefully this will feel more respectful of your time, because we really do appreciate you asking the questions. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah? Well, I got a bone to pick with all these devs now. Here. All right, I'm going to stand on my soapbox. I used to tweet all the time when the game was what I called a single-player RPG because, the player base died. They replied, now they're so cool because the expansion came out, all these people came back or whatever. It's like triple the player base now at least. No replies.
With that said, if you like what you saw, please like us, subscribe, all of those cool things. And otherwise, we will see you in Aeternum in Season 4.
That said, I'm excited. This is a nice update. Hell yeah.
Everyone wave now.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed the reaction. I'm going to continue doing this. This is actually a lot of fun. I'm kind of mad at myself now that I did not start this sooner. I don't know why. I always get nervous like doing recordings. I used to stream on Twitch as Coffee Drinking Noob. Well, I shouldn't say used to. I just don't really do it that often anymore. There's no like schedule or anything. I just pop on when I feel like it. And usually what I do is I'm playing New World. So feel free to stop by onto that if you'd like. Twitch.tv/Coffee Drinking Noob. Again, no schedule, so no idea when I will stream. I don't announce it anymore. When I do, I do. It is what it is. But I am definitely looking forward to this venture and trying to create a bigger YouTube channel. We're going to continue with the dev updates as they come out, and I figured I would react to like any videos that other big New World YouTubers do. I say other big ones, like as if I'm a big YouTube channel. It's the very first video. Calm down, noob. So I don't know, like Baggins, Jay Oddity, people like that. I know there's some that have fallen off probably of making as many videos as they used to. But as more content comes out, definitely going to react to them. I love this game. I really do hope it's successful. They have all my support. And not just like, vocal support or like, hey, yeah, please do good. Like, I give you my money, all right? I bought that wolf skin and everything. So you do have my support. New World, Amazon Games. Did you screw up with the launch? Yes. I hope like all those people that were playing, they had almost 1 million people playing, I think, like, post launch. And it's really sad that what happened, but it is what it is. They're trying to, fix everything that went wrong. And I think from when it first came out, completely different game. I really do recommend the people that quit. I know it's hard with gamers. Like if you piss them off, they don't forget, and it's justified. I don't know what happened. I know they tried delaying the release again. I'm assuming the investors were like, no, got to release it. Regardless of what happened, they did fix a lot. So I do hope that a lot of people will give it one more shot. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you at the next one. Thanks.